The time is now 7 o'clock.
Housing, keeping a roof over your head. Isn't this one of the most basic fundamentals of life? Well, that right doesn't come as easily as it should, especially when you're young and strapped for resources. The government is doing quite a bit to help, but, public housing and even lifting some green belt restrictions, that's good. These are mostly concentrated, though, in the capital area. Busan is trying to keep its young people in our city, and helping them keep a roof over their head is certainly an important step in all of this. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Friday, August 16th on BEFM, 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well and you enjoyed 광복절 yesterday. I know many of you did tune in yesterday. We were live yesterday, but yes, today we are back. And guess what? It's Friday. So it makes it extra wonderful. Today's top story is all about housing. Housing is one of the biggest concerns for young people, especially as home prices and rental prices, they keep on going up against their fairly flat salary. We talk about this all the time, right? Everything goes up except what? Our salaries, it seems. Some municipalities, namely City of Seoul, is on top of this. The city announced its policy to provide 4,000 public housing units for newlyweds at 50% of the jeonse prices in the neighborhood. Wow. So a couple can extend this lease to 20 years if they have a child, and families with 2 children can buy the home at a lower price after the 20 years are up. Incheon City has a 1,000 won housing program where newlyweds just pay 1,000 won per day in rent. So what does that mean? Roughly 30,000 won per month for rent. Can you believe this? With 1,000 such units coming per year. Busan does have public housing programs for newlyweds where the city actually covers the rent, but the scale is vastly different. So this year, we're talking about just 66 units. 66. To me, I don't know. Is that enough? This is interesting as Busan and Incheon have similar annual budgets, but this really does show a difference in priority. And this could really count when it comes to its effects on getting young people to stay. And we keep on saying we want our young people, youth, to stay in our city. Shouldn't we be doing a little bit more? It's just a question I'm throwing out there. All right, let's get to our text topic for this beautiful Friday morning. So which would you rather? It's one of those mornings. Assuming money and time are not an issue, you have to choose between these 2 selections. So choose one, okay? Number 1, live in one foreign city for 1 month. So live in a foreign city for a month versus travel to a different city every 3 days. Ooh. Okay, so 자 시간과 돈이 모두 여유롭다고 가정하에 한 도시에서 한 달 살기 versus 3일에 한 번씩 새로운 도시로 여행 가기. This is a tough one. And you can't say both. You got to choose one or the other, okay? So make your choices. Send them into BFM's live stream, live chat on YouTube. So go to that platform. You search for BEFM or 부산 영어 방송. You subscribe. You do have to log in to chat with our other waivers. It's very lively every morning, I promise you. Pound 9050. That's on your phone. That's going to cost you 101 to text in that way. But you can also send your messages in for free on our Kakao Talk channel as well. That's the same. Search for BEFM, 부산 영어 방송 to add us as a friend. You can also listen to us on the Patbang app as well. All right, looking ahead to our morning together. So what do we have? We have Vasana with Foreign Press Highlights in hour number 2. We have Joffrey joining us. Do you remember him? Yes. So he's going to be joining us in hour number 2. So yes, stay tuned for that. And then for a special interview, we're going to be talking about magnesium. So in Korean, we call it magnesium. Can that help with our sleep troubles? Because I know oftentimes, especially during the summer, these past few weeks, it's been really, really hard to fall asleep, to stay asleep. Can magnesium be of help? Let's find out with our expert in hour number 2. I'll be back with today's headlines. It is now 7:05 and these are today's headlines. Yoon announces unification doctrine based on free democracy. President Yoon Suk-yeol declared a new vision for freedom-based unification and proposed an official dialogue with North Korea in his Liberation Day speech. Japanese Prime Minister sends offerings to controversial Yasukuni Shrine. South Korea's foreign ministry expressed deep regrets over the action, urging Japanese leaders to face up to history and show humble reflection and genuine repentance. Government to announce pension reform plan. The presidential office and the government will announce a reform plan of the national pension system, focusing on generational equity and sustainability. Transportation Ministry unveils measures to prevent turbulence accidents. The Transportation Ministry unveiled a set of new safety measures yesterday to prevent in-flight accidents caused by frequent air turbulence, including ending in-flight meals 40 minutes before landing. Gaza death toll reaches 40,000 as negotiations continue without Hamas. A new round of negotiations for a ceasefire has begun in Doha, Qatar. The push for talks is seen as more critical than ever as the death toll in Gaza has reached 40,000 and threats of a greater regional war loom. And this was today's headlines. Let's say hi to Haley this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, before we get into our Busan updates, did you enjoy your day off or did you lecture all day?
I worked. But yes, I enjoyed. Well, I enjoyed. I took a massive nap. And then I had so much kwaja. I had so many snacks. I don't know why, but I was like, it's a holiday.
You deserve it.
Yeah, how is that related? I don't know, but I had snacks.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, so which would you rather? Would you rather go to one city, a foreign city, for 1 month versus every 3 days going to a new city, a new place?
A month seems long. For me, at least, I go stir crazy. I need to be like constantly on the move. So if someone's forcing me to go on this long vacation, I think I'm gonna choose every 3 days going to a new city.
Oh,
Because I think 3 days is, well, it's obviously not enough, but yeah, I'll spend like 2 days hitting the major sites and then 1 day just kind of taking in the city. And then, like leaving something to be desired. If I really love a city, then, I'll mark it. I'll come back.
Oh.
If 3 days was enough, then it was enough. Yeah.
I get it. I get your thinking. We're going to jump into our first item for now. First up, the Western Busan Medical Center project. It is picking up speed after a decade of this back and forth, right?
Right. So we've been hearing about this Hobusan Uryo원, the Western Busan Medical Center, for a better part of the decade.
Sure.
But Busan City earlier this week, it has selected a priority negotiations partner for the construction contractor.
Sure.
So the firm is Western Busan Healing Planet Corporation, and they passed a preliminary qualification assessment and have submitted their official plans. So the project has been in the works ever since 2015, but it's been stalled for various reasons. However, in March of last year, Busan City signed a memorandum of understanding with Saha District, which is where the medical center will be located, for an early construction of the hospital and also purchase that land from the district.
I see.
The city also got a green light from the finance ministry. This is also important because their estimated budget for the hospital when set back in 2015, well, vastly different from what it is now, especially in the past couple of years with construction costs going up. So they're able to raise a project budget to match the rise in construction costs by 10%. So with these procedures out of the way, the city plans to break ground in 2016 and complete construction by 2018. The hospital, by the way, will have 300 beds and serve as a key source of public medicine, infectious disease prevention, and overall medical care for Western Busan.
So it's 2026 and 2028, right?
What did I say? 2028. It discarded whatever I said. Right. Break ground
like,
2026,
2016.
complete 2028.
Right. Okay.
What is with numbers? I
No,
apologize.
because I did a double take because I'm like, wait, what year are we in? It's
What year are we in? 2024.
Okay.
Right.
Just
Yes.
wanted to-
2028.
It'll be done by 2028 according
4
to the plan.
years, yeah.
The most important
Yes.
thing, yes. All right, next up. A passenger ferry that goes back and forth between Busan and Fukuoka has suddenly stopped operations.
Right, and this came actually very abruptly,
Yes.
and all reservations have obviously been canceled. So this is the ferry, the Queen Beetle. So the operator JR Kyushu posted on their website earlier this week that they will suspend operations, well, indefinitely, but for now they're not taking reservations until November 25th, and that may extend. So the company explained, well, this is due to safety concerns.
Yes.
They did not live up to the improvement they promised to make to the Japanese transportation authorities. Turns out there were issues with the ship's hull, like the main body.
Okay.
There was apparently a leak causing issues, which the company hid for 3 months. And then when they were found out the second time, the ministry suspended their operations.
Oh, well, this
Right.
is a safety issue, and we are very keen and sensitive about
Right,
ships
right.
and safety. But what about the passengers who have already made and plans and paid for their trips?
Right, because it's not just about the ferry ride cost, which
Right.
of course they will get a full refund for. But I mean, for example, if your trip was supposed to take place today, you likely made hotel reservations.
True.
If you're going to an amusement park, you probably paid tickets for that. So the company is in the process of contacting customers for this. Of course, they're fully refunding the ferry fare, and the company will provide stipends for cancellation fees that customers may face for other transportation or other hotels, up to 200,000 won per passenger. However, this also impacts a lot of people's Chuseok holiday plans.
Yes.
The ferry has a 500-person maximum capacity, and the reservation rate for this month had been at 50 to 60%. So we're looking at least 250 to 300 people whose travel plans will be affected. But once again, I mean, you don't want to be on a ship that has leak problems.
Of course.
But I mean, this is inconvenient.
Major inconvenience. All right. Well, thanks for letting us know about this. If you're affected, please, give them a call, find out
Right.
how you can get those stipends. All right, next up, Busan Coast Guard found a vessel that leaked massive amounts of oil into the sea.
Right, so back on August 2nd, the Coast Guard vessel found traces of an oil leak at Pier 5 of the North Port. And we actually did report on the story very briefly because what was available, the information available at the time was just that there had been an oil leak. So no source and whatnot, because that particular area, and I believe that's what we talked about in that top story, is because a lot of vessels in usage, but also abandoned vessels are kind of all tangled and docked in disarray. So
Sure,
they're not
sure.
like lined up in perfect lines. So it was hard to pinpoint where the leak came from.
Yes.
However, the Coast Guard used drones to surveil the area. They basically took drones to check the exhaust pipes and the hulls and bodies of every single ship and confirmed that a 92-ton oil tanker had signs of leaks from its deck and the drain. All in all, had leaked out some 145 liters of oil. So the Coast Guard said it took 13 days for them to search in the heat wave to pinpoint the cause and asked the vessels to really abide by safety regulation, including not doing any nighttime work to prevent these accidents and abiding by safety rules.
Ah, yes. Anytime we hear about massive leaks in the sea, very, very troubling.
Right,
but
right.
Now we know. All right. Lastly, the Peace Girl statue in Busan has been subject of acts that, we'll just say, in attempts to damage the statue. And upon this, the city has selected a group that will be in charge of management and maintenance.
Right. So Busan City announced that it has selected Busan Women's Associations United as the entity that'll be in charge of the statue's management for the next year. So what happens with the Peace Girl statue, the 소녀상, is that Busan City oversees the general management.
Okay.
Donggu District is in charge of surveillance and security. And then Busan selects an entity or group every year to be in charge of direct management and PR. However, as you know, as we've reported on, the statue had been under constant attempts of vandalism this year. So the city said that having an entity to really at least be in charge of management will help with this. But the thing is, this selection process has to take place every single year. And there was a little bit of a gap this year because applicants and procedures, so they need constant interest and attention from the public.
Yes, indeed. Well, I don't know why anybody would want to vandal
Absolutely.
this
Right.
symbolic statue, but anyhow, thank you for the updates. We'll get back to Haley in just a little bit. Back to you, the listeners. Which would you rather kind of question for a text topic this beautiful Friday morning? So, assuming yes, money, time, not an issue. Which would you rather live in a foreign city for 1 month versus travel to a different city every 3 days? 그러니까 한 도시에서 한 달 살기, 그리고 그 한 달 살기를 한다면 I'm adding, as I always do. 어디? Where? And versus 3일에 한 번씩 새로운 도시로 여행 가기. So those are your choices. You can send them in. Here is your traffic and weather. It is now 7:16. Here's your traffic report. There is an accident on 시민공원로 from Chinyang intersection to the Busanjin district office. So there's an accident right around the Chinyang intersection. Please be aware of this area. It's causing some backup. It's also slow on Lunu Samsungdaero from Myeongji underpass to Shinho Bridge. Likewise, backed up on the Dongso overpass from Pyeongnaekgo ramp to the old Kegum toll gate. Currently it's 26. It's going to go up to 33 degrees Celsius today. Looking ahead to the weekend, the temperatures are pretty much the same for tomorrow and Sunday. Expect lows of 25, highs of 33, both sunny. So tropical nights are likely to continue. This was your traffic and weather.
Are you an early bird? Are you up to date on the news? Are you a trendsetter? For all of the biggest issues from Busan to the world and useful information you need, right here on Morning Wave in Busan.
It's time for News Digest, and we're going to dive into our first topic with Haley regarding the Liberation Day government event yesterday. So, for the first time ever, this event was held in two separate locations.
Right, so not a show of unity you want to show, especially on this day, but the Heritage of Korean Independence, Gwangbokhae, and other major independence group, they held their own ceremony at the Kim-gu Memorial Center for the first time. It was held jointly by some 60 independence groups, also attended by key opposition party lawmakers and figures, including the Democratic Party, or DP's floor leader, Park Chan-dae. So according to the Heritage's president, Lee Jong-chan, he said that there is a depraved sense of history that has been steeped in pro-Japanese sentiment, and that is throwing society into chaos. And he added that the organization couldn't stand by idly and watch this historical regression, which is why they have separated from the government's event.
Yes.
So Mr. Yi says that this is not meant to divide, but actually set a milestone for true unity moving forward in the future.
Well, what was said at the government's Liberation Day ceremony?
Right. So the official government celebratory event was attended by President Yoon Suk-yeol, First Lady Kim Gun-hee, as well as medalists from the Paris Olympics. Im Si-yeon, the triple gold medalist archer, she led the Pledge of Allegiance along with families of independence fighters. And then a judo silver medalist, Heo Mi-mi, who's also a descendant of an independence fighter, Mr. Heo Seok, she led the 만세 삼창, the shouting of 만세, along with archer Kim Woo-jin and Commander Cho Eun-hae, who leads the Korean fighter jet development project. And then in a speech, which is one of the most important political speeches given by a president on Liberation Day, President Yoon Suk-yeol emphasized this freedom-based unification. So he said that freedom must be extended to North Korea, which he called the quote-unquote frozen kingdom. And he said people there are deprived of freedom and they suffer from poverty and starvation. And Yoon laid out three key tasks for unification, which he said was defending freedom in South Korea from fake news and other destabilizing elements, bringing changes in North Korea kind of from grassroots levels through human rights improvements and outside information, and also strengthening cooperations with the international community. And he urged Pyongyang to come back to the official dialogue table.
I see. So that's what happened yesterday from the two sides. All right, we're going to move on for now. We all know that it's been hot, and we've been saying that for pretty much, the last 2 months. But the big question is, when's it gonna end?
Doesn't feel like it's ever gonna end.
know.
But okay, how hot has it been?
Yes.
I have official figures for you.
we
It
go.
is now officially tied as the official, how many times can I say official? Sorry, but the hottest summer of both the 20th and the 21st century ever
Yes.
since record taking began. Because according to the Korea Meteorological Association, the KMA, Busan City has experienced 21 tropical nights in a row between July 25th and August 15th. So that would be the night from the 14th to the morning of the 15th.
Yes.
Official record for last night will come out later today, but at least by unofficial records, we are due to now break that streak, becoming the hottest summer in terms of tropical nights. So tropical nights is when temperatures between this very specific 6:01 p.m. and 9 a.m. the following morning lingered on or above 25 degrees Celsius. So that means
yes.
we're getting our official figures in an hour and about 40 minutes. So once again, that ties the record for the longest consecutive tropical nights, 열대야,
Yes.
for 1994 and 2018, which is deemed as like the summer from Hades, but we're really approaching that record.
Right.
And Seoul City has had it worse, experiencing 25 tropical nights in a row, likely to come to 26 today. So and you ask, how long is it going to continue? Well, I remember us telling our listeners, the KMA telling people that it should break by Liberation Day. Well, today's the 16th. So no, the answer to that is no.
Yes.
Reason for that, the hot and humid heat wave is expected to continue through the weekend at least. Well, here's what's been interesting. We've had showers coming down sporadically.
Yes.
And water does have a tendency to cool things down. This has just fed the massive humidifier that has been our atmosphere,
Yes.
unfortunately. So that's because the showers are then immediately followed by this blazing hot sun. So that just raises the discomfort level. So weather experts say that, of course, a strong sunlight has been raising temperatures in the lower atmosphere. But at the same time, if you look to the upper atmosphere, there's been this dry vortex, which causes instabilities, aka these random showers.
Yes.
And the combination, what's been happening in the skies is that a dry Tibetan high pressure front has been coming in from the west, and that's been meeting the warm and humid North Pacific high pressure front to the east. So they're colliding. And then around the equator, there's another high pressure front. So apparently what that's been doing is providing this corridor for steam to come into the Korean peninsula. So the atmospheric pattern is also causing tropical low pressure fronts and typhoons around Japan. So the area in the northeastern Asia just not having great weather.
Well, we can all attest to that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. All right, for our next topic, let's talk about the United Nations, which is discussing ways to potentially change its a decades-old organization.
Right, so we all learned this in history classes. The United Nations, which began as the League of Nations, but officially came into being after World War II.
Right.
And that reflects, the world order back in 1945. A lot has changed in those, 80 or so years.
Yes.
But we were all tested on this. The 5 permanent members of Security Council that have veto powers, China, France, Russia, the UK, and the US.
Yes.
Well, but the United Nations Security Councils, they have what they do. Of course, the UN has always been criticized for what actual powers does it have. But for the powers that it does have, it has powers to authorize peacekeeping operations. The UN, the Robin Blue helmets.
Yes.
Imposing international sanctions and determining how the UN itself responds to conflicts around the world.
Yes.
And it also, on top of the 5 permanent members, has 10 non-permanent members. They are allocated by region. South Korea is a member right now, non-permanent one, but they also don't have veto powers. So the thing is, this has long been criticized for being geographically biased because if you look at that once again, China, France, Russia, UK, and the US, there's a
Gaping.
there's a very gaping region, namely Africa.
Africa, left
Right. So earlier this week, the African nation of Sierra Leone convened a discussion to push for changes.
Yes.
Specifically, the African Union called for the continent to have 2 permanent representatives on the council, plus 2 more non-permanent seats. And actually, not maybe specifically to the details, but the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres echoed the sentiment, saying that Africa has been underrepresented in the Security Council and also in international financial institutions. However, they have been overrepresented in the very challenges that the UN and these structures were designed to address. So Africa has been often at the center of conflicts fueled by what you might say greed for the continent's resources,
Right.
going back to the colonial times and even currently to the new resources needed to fuel technology.
Indeed. So what about other opinions for this discussion?
Right. Well, once again, going back to the 5 permanent seats, China is the only Asian or Asian Pacific nation that's represented. So the South Korean ambassador to the United Nations, Hwang Jung-guk, he said that the body of the Security Council should not expand the permanent membership, because he said that is of the old world order. However, it should expand the non-permanent member board, which reflects a regional breakdown, and that this is the only way for the Security Council to adapt to this ever-changing global world.
I see.
So he pointed out that the Asia-Pacific region, which has had the greatest number of new members joining the forum since the 1960s, is the most underrepresented. So that's definitely kind of food for thought of how how countries are represented in the international community.
Yes.
And how that may still have those old colonial roots.
Definitely, we see not just undertones. I mean, it's kind of outright.
Right. These are
when we see the
institutionalized.
representation.
Right.
Yes. All right. Well, we're going to call it a wrap for the news, and we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
With that, we are ready for our first song for Friday. How about this one? Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses.
Welcome to the
Who's rocking out to that? You know, you guys were like banging along, right? It is now 7:32. It is Friday. And we're talking about housing policies, in particular, the disparity between the capital area and 나머지, the rest of us, basically. It's that different. The government has recently announced that it will lift greenbelt restrictions on the large scale to resolve issues with the housing supply. So the intent is to increase the supply to some 80,000 households. And the big plan is to add 427,000 new households in the capital area overall by the year 2029. And so this could have positive effects on home prices in Seoul. Critics point out that it might exacerbate, that means make worse, the regional balance issue. With more homes concentrated in the capital area, more companies and people are going to congregate there. And this could worsen the population exodus that non-capital regions are suffering from, further contributing to the regional imbalance. And of course, something has to be done about housing prices and supply in the capital area. But, you know, this issue does require long-term vision from policymakers. Not just these Band-Aid solutions, right? So I'm hoping that, you know, there is some long thought put behind these policies. All right. So let's get to our text topic. Which would you rather, assuming money and time are not an issue? 1, live in a foreign city for 1 month versus 2, travel to a different city every 3 days. You can't do both. You got to just choose one. And so looking at your responses, let's see. First, I do see Leslie who says, I would rather stay in one foreign city for a month to have time to explore all the museums and restaurants and cultural spots, make connections. If you're traveling every 3 days, you are living out of a suitcase and spending half of your time traveling to different cities. And she says she would choose Busan as her 1 month stay. Well, we welcome you with open arms. You are welcome any time of year. 태진 웨이버 says 시간과 돈이 여유로우면 3일에 한 번씩 안 쫓기게 한 달 살기 선택해요. 유럽 도시부터 한 달 살기 하다가 and then he continues his message, but basically he would choose the 1 month stay program, maybe start in Europe, he says. Yes, so those are 2 of your messages. I'll read more in just a bit. And is that a question? So, the follow-up question from Taejin is this. 그런데 돈을 얼마 주실 거예요? Oh, we're giving you money? He's asking, how much money are we going to give you? We said money is not an issue. 시간과 돈 모두 여유롭다고 했지 제가 드린다는 적은 없는데요. So that's your money. That's your own imaginary, Monopoly thing money. So there you go. And let's get to our hot clip for this morning. For today's hot clip, I want to cover something that I kind of contemplated. Should I cover this? Should I not? Is it okay for Morning Wave in Busan? And you know what? It's making the waves. It's kind of trending right now, at least on social media. It is called fart walking. You heard me right. 방귀, fart walking. So let's listen to the clip from the morning show because apparently this is really trendy, and then we'll talk about it.
Fart walks are trending online. named after a woman, Marilyn Smith. It went viral, detailing...
Going for a fart walk
Have a listen.
after dinner is something that's going to help you age wonderfully. And if you follow me, you know that my husband and I go out for fart walks most nights after dinner. So about 60 minutes after we've eaten, we put on our running shoes and off we go. Now, why do we do this? Well, we eat a lot of fiber, so we have gas. Everybody does. And, you fart when you walk. So that's why I named it that.
So what does the science say about sauntering away your flatulence, and could it actually be the magic bullet to help beat the bloat?
I love it when you say that, Kylie.
Flatulence?
Don't have to say it again.
Oh, okay.
For more, we welcome back Dr. Gabby Staniforth. Hey, Doc. Now, should we be going on fart walks?
That is the question, isn't it?
Pretty much.
I mean, well, we all know that walking's good for us. It's good for our health. But when it comes to our digestion, this new fart walking has certainly been proven to aid in digestion.
Is it a new thing, or do we think cavemen and women were fart walking back in the day too?
I think the term is new.
Oh, I see.
But the concept has always been there.
So is there any truth to what she said? My husband and I eat dinner, and then about an hour we eat a lot of fibre. An hour later, this is what we do. Is there any sort of truth to that, or is she...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
So when we do gentle exercise after a big meal, it does promote that digestive process starting. It moves the food through the bowel, which helps relieve bloating and release the flatulence. Well, there has been some evidence about the proper technique which gives you the optimal benefits of fart walking.
Release.
So, hands behind your back, leaning forward. That increases the abdominal pressure, which pushes the food through the digestive tract, and tilt your neck forward, which stops you following air. It's kind of like a stern headmistress, kind of. There are people out there who really do suffer from digestive issues that makes it, them very uncomfortable. Lots of bloating, lots of gas, people with food intolerances, IBS and so forth.
Okay.
So in that way, it is very serious. It's important that we are encouraging good health habits that help people feel better.
So this whole discussion, it's actually quite serious, because for people who do have, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, or digestive issues, you might want to consider this. So I know lots of people here in Korea like to, all over the world, take walks after dinner or after a meal, but there's a particular way you can do it to make it even better, these so-called fart walks. They say when you're walking, lean forward like this. If you're on YouTube, you can see my hand, and keep your chin down a little bit, and that's supposed to, kind of press down on the gas to, release the air. Anyhow, that's your hot clip for this Friday morning.
Stay tuned. You're listening to Morning Wave in Busan.
It is time for Foreign Press Highlights. We have Vasana here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, so before we get into our topic, our text topic, I'm going to send it to you right now, and you have to choose on the spot. Here, are we ready?
Yes.
Which would you rather? You got to choose. Okay? It's not difficult. It's just a choice.
I have to?
You have to choose.
I
I'm
can't choose
forcing
both
you.
or none.
I'm forcing you. I'm putting I don't want to
Okay, and you choose neither, then you die.
Okay, so assuming money and time are not an issue, would you rather, one, live in one foreign city, meaning you can go abroad, but you got to live in that one city for a month, like a 1 month getaway, versus a different city every 3 days. You get to travel every 3 days. You got to pack up and go to a new city.
That's cool.
Which would you rather?
I can choose the city.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Of course.
then if I can choose the city, then one month.
Oh, where would you go?
Like London or New York, one of those huge cities in which you cannot do anything.
And who would you go with?
Oh, I have to go with somebody.
아버지. 너무 맞았어요.
Did you see myself? Okay, the standard answer, my wife and my son.
What's the real answer? They're not listening. What's the real answer?
Real
By
answer,
yourself, right?
Probably my wife. She's a great traveler. She loves traveling.
Really?
I hate traveling.
Oh, you do?
I like staying in one place, which
So
is
that's why you would choose the
I
one
would choose the one
month
place. She would probably choose the 3.
Interesting.
She'd choose the 3 days.
All right. Now we're going to dive into our very interesting topic. And I remember you texted me, was it yesterday?
Yes.
Saying, hey, have you seen this? This is what I'm going to talk about. And so even though I was really, really tired yesterday,
Yes.
because I did something really, really active, I went to, I can't say, no, much more active than that. I have bruises on my knees to prove.
Oh, no.
I went to laser
tag.
but we can't give the name brand. So Laser Thing in
okay.
Korea. Have you been in Korea?
No.
It's like, the survival laser shooting.
Yeah.
And they had like the shock bracelet. Like if you get shot, it shocks you.
Did you scream?
I in the first time I did,
Yeah.
and I yelled at the guy that shot me. I was like, "Hey!"
No expletives.
I did, but it was so loud. It was okay. But anyway, even after that,
Yep.
I went home and I purposely watched the first episode of what you're going to talk
After
about.
that? Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Okay, so tell us.
Probably not a good
tell
time.
us what I'm referring to.
I want to talk about a show called The Influencers or Influencers.
This show.
Okay. Shall we go on to the next topic?
No. Our waivers. 혹시 이거 보셨나요? The Influencer. It's on NetDang,
The
right?
Influencer. Yes.
Yes.
Correct. It's on that platform.
OTT.
So every week I seem to be mentioning this, and so when I saw this article, I thought, well, I might as well talk about it, seeing every week I say something usually negative towards it. So I thought I watched the whole show.
Yes.
And
All the episodes?
all the episodes.
No spoilers.
No
please.
spoilers, yeah. So no spoilers, but I'll just touch on the different things that they do. So I've slightly touched on this, as I said, but The Guardian had the headline, The Influencer Review. Judged by these social media stars, humanity's future is bleak. So I watched the show before reading that, actually,
Yes.
but I thought that was a little bit harsh, and I don't think they had actually watched it before they wrote this, but anyway. So the show initially gathers 77 influencers from around Korea.
Yes.
Into one place, probably a big warehouse or something, where they go through different challenges to find one winner,
The Influencer.
the influencer,
That's the whole point, right?
who wins 300 million won.
That's 3억 won, right?
Samok, yes. So that's quite a lot of money, especially for some of the influencers who weren't that big.
Did you know any of them or many of them? Be honest.
No,
How many?
no, I didn't.
None?
None. But my son knew nearly all of them. He was like, because,
How old
little
is your
kids, my son's 11. No, he's not.
아드님 몇 살인지 몰라요?
He's 14. 13. Anyway.
You went from 11 to 14
No,
to
he's
13.
11. He's 11.
What grade is he in?
Because of this, he's in 5th grade.
He's not 14.
No, 11.
He's in 5th grade. He's like
5th grade.
11.
Thank you.
at
I was
most.
right the first time.
Okay.
Okay. It's, I've had a lot of children in my life over the last 4 weeks, so it's 11.
Yes.
So the show, as I said, 77 influencers. I was trying to get why they chose only 77. It's a weird number. Why didn't they choose 100 or 80? I couldn't find it. So if somebody out there can tell me, that will allow me to sleep better tonight.
Okay.
Different challenges, etc., etc. So I didn't know any of them. But names like Lee Sa-bae, who does makeup,
Yes.
Pani Bottle, who's
He's famous for travel.
travels
yeah.
around the world. I knew Kwak Tuba. His best friend is Kwak. So I knew Kwak Tuba.
Yes.
I didn't know Pani Bottle. And this guy with a funny name, Tedo, which I've been called Tedo in the past. Because when I've lost weight, then my head stays the same and the rest of my body. So Tedo.
Tedo.
In Chinese, they're Da To, which was my nickname amongst my Chinese friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Da To. Lai, Da To. But anyway, Carrying on.
Yes, carry on.
So the Guardian wrote the first episode, the first paragraph.
Yes.
These introductions are not unwelcome, and it wasn't unwelcome for me because I needed to know who they were, and so
I was kind of surprised.
that
My roommate
Yeah.
watched because I was like, it's homework. I have to watch this show. So I sat the family down in front of the TV. And he watched for 5 minutes. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play my game." So he went in and he's like, "I'm gonna go to my, my console game." And he disappeared.
yeah.
And my kids though, they knew. They're like, "Oh yeah, oh my god," they knew who they were. Yeah.
So they had all different people from makeup artists, models, rappers, gamers, fitness instructors, but also one guy who's a shaman or actual shaman, and his
Yes.
character does not talk
At all.
at all. So one of the other influencers said, why are you giving him a mic? 'Cause he doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk.
Right.
But I'm not gonna give any spoilers with him because
Okay. Yeah, don't spoil it.
Yeah,
I
so
only
anyway,
saw the first episode.
So they were each given an electronic tag, like a dog tag, that they put around,
around their neck.
Yes. And it showed them their
Yes.
worth.
She said, "Why?" Off
Our
air?
producer said, why?
Because it shows how many in the beginning,
Yes.
how many followers or subscribers they have.
Yes.
So it says like let's say you have 2 million
Yeah.
followers. It says 2 million.
Yes.
And then some only have like. Only I'm saying
20,000.
like 20,000.
Yeah.
I'm saying comparatively,
Yeah.
and then later on that parlays over to like 몸값, how much you're worth,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like I was like, wow, that's like a reality check. It was kind of demeaning.
Because some of them were so low, they worked it out to a percentage of the people that were there.
Yes,
So if
yes.
there's 20,000, then your percentage was 10% of everybody there.
Sure.
And as you lose,
Mm-hmm.
the lowest person's money gets given to the number one person.
Yes.
And then the next one goes to number two, et cetera, et cetera.
It's like Hunger Games slash Squid Games
Squid Games.
slash.
It's a lot of things. I would have enjoyed, as you were talking, you went to play
Yes.
that laser game with the shock there.
I was getting shocked left
No,
and right
I
'cause
would have
was so
enjoyed
terrible at the game.
them getting a shock.
Oh, on the neck. That'd been interesting.
I think more people would have watched if they'd given a shock
Right,
every
right.
time they lost it. Anyway.
Yes.
So in short, they're reduced to a financial figure based on how popular they are and turned into digital branding. And this is branding of the old-fashioned kind. So everybody then talked about each other when they saw their numbers, as you do, shaming some people, embarrassing some other people. So the people that were really low were trying to avoid other people's icon,
definitely.
etc. So the first round, anyway, each contestant was given 15 likes and 15 dislikes.
Yes.
So this is probably the easiest way for these influencers to earn money is by getting likes and dislikes. And they give it to fellow competitors. So there's 30 in total, 77 influencers. And so whoever got the most or the least got eliminated out
That's
of
what
that one.
you thought.
Yes.
But I heard that that's not how it worked necessarily.
No. Should I give any spoilers there?
No, but you're going to have to, I guess, if you're interested in this kind of thing,
Yeah.
you're going to have to check it out for yourself. And by the way, the reason why we're talking about this, I was surprised. I know it's Netthing, it's
Yeah.
an OTT platform.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the wide plethora of, how shall I phrase this? Different types of people out there. I was kind of surprised.
Really?
Were you not?
You were surprised?
I don't really watch this content.
Okay.
I like for social media, like Haley and I were talking because she, we follow each other.
Yeah.
And like, my account is, not public,
Yeah.
it's private. So like, but she, what I like, she knows. It's usually just like really like, she's like, yeah, because of you, Catherine, I always get like these animal feeds or something about golf or like, it's like so vanilla.
That is a bit dangerous when you,
Right.
because of those things, when you watch one thing,
Right.
then
It
more
keeps on
pops
popping
into
up,
your
right?
feed.
So when
the
I saw
algorithms.
these influencers yesterday, I was just like, it was a whole new world for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew some of them, the really famous one, and like Chun Tae-pung because he's a basketball player.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
The big ones I knew, like the one that recently made the headlines with Hybe CEO,
Oh, yes.
and
yeah.
she was there as well. Chang Geun-seok. he, he's a famous actor since he was like really little. Those people I recognize, but everywhere else is like, who is that? Like that was my reaction.
Yep.
And then I needed an explanation.
So
Yes.
liking somebody
Yes.
and disliking somebody isn't what we think. So I'll leave that one there.
Yes.
So I'll go on to the next round. This one, they had to keep viewers' attention for 60 minutes. So this was a live performance. So one thing I would have enjoyed about the show, just like they did with Tom Brady's one, is that they did it live. They did his one live. So I would have enjoyed if they'd done this live every week. So that the whole public could join in and vote and like, dislike. So maybe they can do that in the future.
So, as we wrap up, what did The Guardian say about this series, this limited series?
It wasn't too positive.
Right.
But it wasn't too negative as well. But their final paragraph said certain messages emerge from the twists and turns of the game. It rewards attention. It rewards attention.
Yes.
So that's the name of the game.
It is. It is.
You got to get attention.
Right. But I don't know, the attention, I mean, I didn't even watch the rest of the episodes. I just watched episode 1 for you, Vasana.
Thank you.
But like,
감사합니다.
I was literally like, the things people will do for attention.
Yep.
I was kind of like surprised, shocked, and abhorred at the same time. Like, oh my God, like really? You're going to do that for attention, for likes?
The things they do and say.
Yes.
So sometimes it's not true. So this thing goes to something that's happening in America right now. You can see why he's not saying a lot of not truths, because it's getting attention. He knows the name of the game. But anyway.
We're going to leave it there. But yes, definitely making waves, and I can see why you brought this to our attention. But thank you for all this, and we'll chat with you real soon. Thank you, Vasana.
Bye-bye.
All right. How about this one for a final song? Busan 바캉스 by Haha and Skull.
어제 고민 다 접어놓고 별을 보러 떠나요 Baby 어젯밤 울었나요 두 눈 부어있나요 내 손 잡아요 한 번만 딱 한 번만 나를 믿어요 화장을 안 해도 돼 생얼로 렌트는 내 꿈에도 싱글로 네 여자친구들도 내 남자친구들도 돈 걱정하지 말고 다 불러 Right or wrong, right get wrong 절대 후회 없는 girl 그대가 원하는 것이면 뭐든지 해줄게 오늘 밤 Let's go! Everybody come to 해운대 Everybody come to 광안리 Everybody come to 동백서 Everybody come to 남포도 Everybody come to 자갈치 Only rockin' with the 아가씨 Only rock 부산 바깥은 길을 잃어 헤맬 때 별이 보이지 않을 때 해줄 것은 없지만 아직도 끙끙대며 걱정하는 그대 이 노래를 불러요 쓸데없는 생각들은 하지마 우리는 서로에게 말지마 가끔씩 다른 여자 눈길이 가도 내 마음은 항상 너니까 Right or wrong, right get wrong 절대 후회 없는 girl 그대가 원하는 것이면 뭐든지 해줄게 오늘 밤 Let's go! Everybody come to 해운대 Everybody come to 광안리 Everybody come to 동백서 Everybody come to 남포도 Everybody come to 자갈치 Only rockin' with the 아가씨 Only rock 부산 바깥은
Your bridge to the world. BEFM 부산 영어 방송.
부산의 축제 어디까지 즐겨보셨나요? 과거와 현재, 미래가 공존하는 항구도시 부산. 이곳 부산은 계절을 물들이는 다양한 축제로 늘 풍성합니다. 봄의 시작을 알리는 봄꽃 축제부터 부산의 여름을 만끽하는 바다축제, 전 세계 영화인들이 모이는 부산국제영화제와 새로운 시작의 해맞이 축제까지. 부산의 축제는 우리의 열정을 가득 담고 있습니다. 바쁜 일상은 잠시 뒤로하고 특별한 시간을 선물 받는 바로 이곳 부산에서 우리의 삶은 축제가 됩니다. 축제로 하나 되는 부산, 여러분은 어떤 축제를 기다리시나요? 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 BFM 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
부산영어방송과 함께하는 제2회 중구청장배 청소년 영어 말하기 대회. 나의 롤모델을 소개합니다. We all need someone who inspires us to do better than we know how. We envision our dreams and live by striving to achieve them. Along the way, we discover our role models we aspire to follow. How about you? Do you have your own role model? 글로벌 허브 도시 부산에 살고 있는 아이들이 꿈꾸는 롤모델은 어떤 모습일까요? We can look at the dreams of Busan's local youth and find out how they dream about their role model in the speech contest. 9월 7일 토요일 오전 11시 부산 영화체험박물관에서 펼쳐질 청소년 영어 말하기 대회에서 부산 지역 꿈나무들이 꿈꾸는 미래의 모습을 확인해보세요. 제2회 중구청장배 청소년 영어 말하기 대회는 중구 진로교육지원센터와 BFM 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Good morning, Dynamic Busan.
Yeah, you're waking up. Time to shake it up. Tell the world good morning and find out what's going on.
Well, hi there, folks. There's everything from comedy to lively chat to music.
Broadcasting from a room about the size of your closet.
All calls are recorded.
What show is this?
Live from Korea's dynamic city, this is Morning Wave in Busan.
I'm sorry, who'd you say you were?
It is now 8 o'clock. This is News Highlights. Yoon announces unification doctrine based on free democracy. President Yoon Suk-yeol declared a new vision for freedom-based unification and proposed an official dialogue with North Korea in his Liberation Day speech. Yoon laid out 3 key tasks for unification: defending freedom from fake news, bringing about changes in North Korea through human rights improvements and outside information, and strengthening cooperation with the international community. Opposition parties attacked the lack of any mentions of Japan, demanding that the administration apologize to the people and independence martyrs. Japanese Prime Minister sends offerings to controversial Yasukuni Shrine. Japanese ministers, including the defense minister, visited the Yasukuni Shrine, which honors 14 Class A war criminals, with Prime Minister Fumio Kishida sending offerings to the shrine to mark the end of World War II. South Korea's foreign ministry expressed deep regrets over the action, urging Japanese leaders to face up to history and show humble reflection and genuine repentance for the past through their actions. The ministry also summoned the deputy chief of mission at the Japanese embassy to lodge its strong protests. Government to announce pension reform plan. The presidential office and the government will announce a reform plan on the national pension system, focusing on generational equity and sustainability. An official from Yongsan said that the plan will focus on intergenerational equity and sustainability, pushing the depletion date for the pension by more than 30 years. The government also plans to introduce a fund stabilization system that calls for paying more in premiums and reducing payments when the fund nears depletion. President Yoon Suk-yeol will reportedly unveil the reform plan during a policy briefing, which is expected to come late this month or early next month. Transportation Ministry unveils measures to prevent turbulence accidents. The Transportation Ministry unveiled a set of new safety measures yesterday to prevent in-flight accidents caused by frequent air turbulence, including ending in-flight meals 40 minutes before landing. Shorter routes will be advised to stop such services 15 minutes before landing. The measures are based on the fact that turbulence often happens during landing. The guidelines also advise airlines to review the risks associated with serving hot soup and tea on board. Over the past 3 years, air turbulence was responsible for 111 aviation accidents worldwide, according to the ministry. Gaza death toll reaches 40,000 as negotiations continue without Hamas. A new round of negotiations for a ceasefire has begun in Doha, mediated by the U.S., Qatar, and Egypt. A delegation from Israel has arrived, but Hamas, the Palestinian militant group, is not directly participating in the talks. The two sides have agreed in principle last month to a 3-phase plan proposed by U.S. President Joe Biden. But both sides have since requested amendments, which have stalled the talks. The push for talks is seen as more critical than ever as the death toll in Gaza has reached 40,000 and threats of a greater regional war loom with Iran's threats against Israel. And this was News Highlights. It's time for Waggle Waggle. That means Haley's back in the studio.
Hello, hello.
All right, so our first story. An installation of Dokdo at a Seoul area subway station went missing right before Liberation Day.
Right, so not just one, but several. So there were several models of Dokdo across 6 Seoul area subway stations. It was a scaled down model, 1/700th of the real size. And this was put up at the suggestion of a special committee on Dokdo protection at Seoul City Council back in 2009. But according to Seoul Metro, the model at Anguk Station, it was taken down on the 12th, the one in Jamsil on the 8th. By the way, Anguk Station in particular was designated as a themed station for the independence movement back on the 100th anniversary in 2019. So this incited controversy because, well, that came, 3 days and a week respectively before Liberation Day.
Yes.
Well, upon the controversy, the Seoul Metro explained that because number one, this was done for safety reasons because the big, the installations were kind of in the middle of a footpath of the walkway, so they removed them for safety reasons. However, because they're not officially classified as like a work of art, they were discarded immediately after. So initially, they said there's no way to bring them back. But it also explained that the others, the ones at City Hall, Itaewon and Gimpo stations, are still there and they do plan on keeping them. However, upon the outrage, Seoul Metro went back and said that it'll recreate a different model and then install it in the stations on October 25th, which is also Dokdo Day. But they will be put on the walls instead of kind of a standalone structure.
Yes.
So, right. So, I mean, of course, although that was supposed to be, for safety reasons, it just didn't sit well with people, especially because of all the political controversy that had been happening ahead of Liberation Day. So, Seoul Metro explained that there was no political intention behind their action. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's the explanation, but I don't know how people kind of took it, the timing of it. At the same time, the first programming that came out at the strike of midnight on Liberation Day on the country's public station contained the national anthem of Japan.
It did. So we're talking about KBS One, the public broadcaster. Well, they aired a performance of the Puccini opera Madame Butterfly that went on stage back in June at Seoul Arts Center. That's because this is the 100th anniversary of Puccini's death, and many art centers, they have been putting on his work. And of course, Madame Butterfly, Nabi Buin is one of the most famous.
Yes.
But here's the thing. It's fairly well known that work is based in Nagasaki, Japan, about a geisha, Cho-Cho-san, and her tragic love story with an American lieutenant who has a wife back in the States. So the characters, well, all of them except for Pinkerton, the lieutenant, well, they wear kimonos. And in the wedding scene between the two, the Japanese national anthem plays. And that's what went on people's airwaves at, well, not exactly at midnight, but as the first program of August 15th.
Okay.
So, I mean, of course, this is, a piece of very well-known classical art that's been in circulation for over a century, but for it to be on air at a public broadcasting station, which is created via your contributions that go out of your electricity bill.
Yes.
Well, it didn't. Once again, didn't sit well, didn't seem right. So there's a KBS petition that criticizes such heavily Japanese-influenced work being on a public channel on that day of all days, and many people have signed the petition. So the station apologized for disappointing the viewers. It explained that the performance stream was actually supposed to go on in June, but it was delayed due to the Olympics, and that's why they found the time to put it on August 15th. However, it doesn't end there because it had to issue another apology because in their weather report, they put up a graphic, and we're going to throw that up there as well, of a taegukgi or of a figure holding taegukgi, the Korean flag, but it's flipped left side to the right. So it's like a mirror image. So the lines, it's 건공감리, it's in a very specific order. Well, that's on the opposite side.
Right.
So for that, KBS explained that the company that handles the graphics had flipped the image to a mirror image to make it fit that the photo of the person holding the flag. They've since fixed the error and once again apologized.
I just wish, especially with the flag, it's they might have outsourced it, but isn't it someone's job to make sure they catch things like that?
Right. Also, I understand this is Puccini, but
still,
do we need to hear the national anthem of Japan on airwaves? Yeah, I don't know.
Yes. Okay.
We're all just saying, thinking similar things, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next, a steady stream of designer knockoffs, obviously enter the country, which are illegal as they violate intellectual property, right?
Right. I have been seeing them. I don't know why, but they sometimes pop on my social media advertisement feed.
Right.
And I click on it and I'm like, what? So I just, out of curiosity, click and I'm like, this can't be legal. But
it's
they're
so illegal.
So outwardly copies of designer bags. So the vast majority, and this is according to official figures, are from China. The most common violator, fake Chanel bags. So the Customs Service report that's been released by People Power Party lawmaker Park Sung-un says that the authorities for the first half of this year seized 93.4 billion worth of these intellectual property violations, aka knockoff designer items at the border.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Well, and also these are not real, so there must be a lot of them to account for 93.4 billion won.
And if the supply is that high, that means the demand is
demand is high. Well, 83% came from China.
Okay.
Over half the copies were Chanel, followed by Goyard, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci. About 70% were handbags, followed by clothing and textiles.
Yes.
So the lawmaker said that these fake designer products coming into the country because, well, at a higher volume because the number of direct overseas purchases has spiked as well. So some cases there have been problems with these direct overseas purchases of the products advertising as authentic, but actually being copies, and that poses, grave harm to the consumer. But also others blatantly copies. So this is number one, a violation of the designer and the brand's intellectual property, but also illegal distribution of fake goods, which, usually those who create and distribute them, well, they're not philanthropic organizations, let's just say.
Yes.
And it could pose financial damage to the consumers and domestic companies. So the lawmaker therefore called for a tighter control system at the border.
And, how about just we not purchase fake goods? How about that? All right, for our final issue, there's an expression in Korean written with one's foot.
Like 발로 쓰다.
발로 쓰다, meaning like...
your handwriting is really terrible.
Really, really bad. Something is done very haphazardly. But there's an actual letter writing using someone's foot that has moved a lot of people. So this is for real.
So this is a letter that's actually been written with one's foot. And it's not, it's actually quite touching.
Okay.
So 8 years ago, we're talking about a Paralympics runner, Jeon Min-jae. She wrote a letter actually using her foot, thanking people after her second place win at the 200-meter race at the Paralympics in Rio.
Okay.
So she wrote a 3-page letter outlining her thoughts before the games, her appreciation for those who cheered her on. So this Paralympian, she had cerebral palsy when she was young, and that left her with speech and mobility impediments and problems, especially in her hands.
Right.
So because she couldn't really hold a pen, she had to write all 3 pages by holding a pen between her toes. So Jeon had cerebral palsy at the age of 5, and she said her life was so devastating as a child. She told her parents that she just wanted to live until she was 20 but it was so bad that she wound up going to elementary school at the age of 19 because of the disability. However, in 2003, her life changed after she started running at the urging of her middle school teacher. So she actually started, because she went to elementary school at 19, she was actually well into her 20s when she started running.
Okay.
But since then, she has won 5 world championships and Asian Game gold medals.
Wow.
And at the age of 47 now, it's hard being a runner at 47.
Right.
But she's going to the Paralympics again, her 5th games. So she left for Paris on Wednesday of this week with 83 para-athletes across 17 events who will compete at the Paris Paralympic Games. And they start on August 28th until September 8th. So we will provide coverage for them as, we see fit. But please support the Paralympians as well.
So amazing.
Right.
I was winded after 1 hour of physical activity yesterday.
I know.
And I see amazing, amazing athletes like this. Really moves me.
Very inspiring.
Thank you for sharing this story with us. And have a wonderful weekend. We'll check in with you on Monday. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great weekend.
All right. Now back to you, the wavers out there. We will talk about your text topic in a little bit, but here's your traffic and weather update. Well, here is your update on traffic right now. So first up, we have an accident on Taeyonglo from the Busan Tunnel to Dongdae intersection. There's been a collision between a cargo truck and a car right past the tunnel. That's causing backup. It's also slow on Byeonglo from the Wondong interchange to Suyang Tunnel. It's also congested on Chungnyeol-daero from Minam intersection to Naesong intersection. It is already 29 degrees Celsius under sunny skies. It's going to go up to 33 today. Looking ahead to the weekend. Pretty similar Saturday, meaning tomorrow, into Sunday, an expected low of 25 and 33 respectively on both days. Tropical nights, they're going to continue. This was your traffic and weather.
Let's get retarded.
All right, this is our next song. This is Let's Get Retarded by the Black Eyed Peas.
And the bass keeps running and running and running and running and running and running. In this context, there's no disrespect, so when I bust my rhyme, you break your necks. We got 5 minutes for us to disconnect from all intellect and let the rhythm affect us to lose the inhibition. Follow your intuition, free your inner soul and break away from tradition. Cause when we be out, girl, it's pulling we out. You wouldn't believe how we wow shit out. We burn it till it's burned out, turn it till it's turned out. Act up from Northwest East Side. Everybody, everybody, let's get into it. Get stupid, get retarded, get retarded, get retarded. Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded in here. 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 Yeah. Lose control, our body and soul. Don't move too fast, people just take it slow. Don't get ahead, just jump into it. Y'all hear about it? The P's will do it. Get started, get stupid. Don't worry about it, people will walk you through it step by step like an infant new kid. Inch by inch with a new solution. Transmit hits with no delusion. The feeling's irresistible and that's how we move it. Yo, everybody, everybody, let's get into it. Get stupid, get retarded, get retarded, get retarded. Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded in here. 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 Come on, y'all. Let's get Let's get right now, get Let's get right now, get Let's get Let's get ill, that's the deal. At the gate, we'll bring the bugged out drill. Lose your mind, this is the time. You can't stand still, twist and bang your spine. Bob your head like epilepsy. Up inside your club or in your belly. Get messy, loud and sick. Your mind fast, no more on another head trip. Come them now, do not correct it. Let's get ignorant, let's get hectic. Everybody, everybody, let's get into it now. Get stupid, get retarded, get retarded, get retarded. Let's get retarded in here. Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded in here. Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded in here. Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded in here.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that one. It's now 8:20, and it is time to go over our text topic one last time. Today, it was a which would you rather kind of question. Assuming money and time are not an issue, you had two choices. Live in a foreign city for one entire month versus traveling to a different city every 3 days. And I have to say that your answers were like all over the place. Very, very different. We have a message from Hisuk Waver who says, good morning. 1 month stay would be nice for me because I'm not good at moving around in a short period of time. So she votes for the 1 month stay. And as for, I don't know why this whole like Fiji topic came up, but yeah, if you haven't been, it's been a while though. I went to Fiji years ago. Absolutely beautiful. The Blue Lagoon, I think you guys know that film, right? Waivers, the Blue Lagoon, where they filmed that kind of the island, esque scenes and stuff. That was where that was filmed, and we got to see that actual island. Really, really beautiful. The people, though, I have to say, I think that's important too, though. Where you go, the locals, and how welcoming they may or may not be. Yeah, well, Fijians, absolutely the most friendliest of people that I've come across. So highly recommend. All right, we're going to get to our special interview. I'll be back in just a moment. These hot summer nights are making restful sleep elusive for so many people, me included. We've been having to rely on things like fans and air conditioning to keep us cool, but that does come at a cost to our wallets. We all know this. Magnesium or magnesium supplements have gained attention as a potential remedy, but questions remain about their effectiveness. With the rising interest in natural sleep aids, or so-called natural sleep aids, people are exploring whether magnesium truly holds the key to better sleep, especially during these sweltering months. So let's explore the possibilities of magnesium to aid in better sleep, as well as other possible remedies. We have invited Dr. Alice Ha, Associate Professor in the Department of Psychology and Director of the Behavioral Sciences and Therapy, or known as BEST Laboratory at Seongshin Women's University. So she's on air with us. Hi, thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Great. So, Professor, can we talk about magnesium? Because it's often touted as this kind of natural remedy for improving sleep. So, first of all, is it true, and maybe you can explain, if so, how magnesium works within our body to maybe aid in better sleep?
Sure. So not to overwhelm you with too many details, but magnesium is a mineral that is involved in more than 300 biochemical reactions of the body. And there's two ways that it's kind of associated with sleep. So the first one is that it kind of plays an essential role in ion channel conductivity, such as NMDA receptors. I know that sounds like a little bit of a lot, but basically there's these gates in your brain cells called ion channels, and magnesium kind of acts as a gatekeeper to close the gates when it's not needed, and on other occasions when the brain needs it to open the gates for communication. And basically, magnesium makes sure that these gates are open and close properly so your brain doesn't get overwhelmed. And the second kind of way that it helps sleep is that it helps regulate something called neurotransmitters, which are these brain chemicals in your brain that are associated with sleep. And one of these neurotransmitters is called GABA, which helps inhibit responses in the brain and is really a major player in your sleep and wake system. And magnesium is something called a GABA agonist, which means that it can bind to a GABA receptor and mimic the effects of GABA. So to explain it a little bit more simpler, not being able to sleep often means that you're feeling a little bit too keyed up and you're feeling very anxious before you go to sleep, or you're tossing and turning because something is keeping you up at night. And magnesium has this kind of dampening effect on your body, which means it slows everything down. Your heartbeat slows down, cortical secretion. Cortisol is a stress hormone produced by your body, and that decreases. It helps your muscles relax. And all these things kind of work together to help you sleep a little bit better. So there is a little bit of evidence that shows that some people may find it easier to fall asleep and easier to stay asleep when they do take magnesium supplements. Yes.
So because I'm even reading some of our comments from our listeners, people, I guess, who do take some sort of magnesium supplement. One person saying, at least for him, he feels that he sleeps better, that he is able to stay asleep. So might that be one of the effects of magnesium?
Yes, so there's a couple of things that it might help you do. It might help you fall asleep faster, and once you're asleep, it might help you stay asleep, and it might help you sleep a little bit longer, and your sleep quality might be a little bit better. And there is a lot of anecdotal evidence for that.
Okay. Well, there are so many different types of like magnesium supplements out there on the market. And then there are things like magnesium citrate, magnesium glycinate. I don't even know how to pronounce all the magnesium oxide. Are there like major differences? What should we as lay people know? Because we read the first part, the magnesium, and we think, oh, it's magnesium. And then we don't know the latter part, what that exactly stands for. So how do we know what to choose and what to look for?
Well, there are these different forms of magnesium supplements, and depending on which system in your body you're trying to target, you should definitely choose the one that's right for you, especially for sleep. And these supplements definitely also differ in how well they're absorbed in your body. So, for example, the two that are a little bit less associated with sleep are magnesium oxide and magnesium citrate. So, for example, magnesium oxide has a little bit of a lower absorption rates and is a little bit less of a popular choice because it's not the best for increasing magnesium levels in your body. And magnesium citrate is well absorbed, but it's mainly used to help alleviate constipation, which is a little bit less associated with sleep as well. So two supplements that are more widely used for sleep purposes are magnesium glycinate and magnesium threonate, which is a little bit less well known. And these two are more well known for having an effect on sleep, and they're well absorbed in the body and can help alleviate symptoms of anxiety or insomnia, which are really helpful. And there are also some brain health benefits. So it might aid in things like memory and learning. And also, as you know, the brain has everything to do with sleep. So if you're increasing your brain health, it will eventually help you with your sleep as well. But saying this, most evidence suggests that people are able to get their magnesium from food sources. So instead of taking a supplement, you might also want to think about increasing food sources that are rich in magnesium. So, for example, leafy greens, spinach, avocados, bananas, all these things are really good to help you increase magnesium levels in your body.
I see. Well, for magnesium, is it generally good for people, like generally speaking, everyone, or might it be better for like targeting certain people with certain ailments? For example, someone is asking, in Korean we call it like 눈 떨림, where like you're right underneath your eye there's a little bit of twitching. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's an old wives' tale or if it's something that's scientifically proven to help with like the twitching under your eye.
I mean, as I said, there is some anecdotal evidence for it. A lot of these supplements haven't been studied very scientifically. But one of the things we do know is that magnesium supplements can be especially promising for adults who are getting older or in the aging process, because these people are more susceptible to have magnesium deficiency. And this may be due to dietary changes or difficulty chewing and digesting food. And there are some changes with magnesium metabolism as you get older. So you might think about supplementing your magnesium as you grow older as well.
I see. Well, is there anything in terms of this heat-related insomnia, anything you have strategy-wise that can kind of help us? Because I don't know about the rest of our waivers, but for me, definitely this summer, it's been kind of like unbearable compared to past summers. Difficult getting to sleep and staying asleep, and like maybe it's because like in my head I'm like, okay, turn the AC off, turn it on. I don't know what it is, but I keep on waking up. So how do we stay asleep during these heat waves? Can you give us some tips?
Well, Unfortunately, our sleep is really tied in with temperature, and even if you used to be a good sleeper, just having this this kind of difficult environment can cause you to get insomnia, and it can be due to rises in global temperatures. And any of the strategies that you can think about are things like making sure that you have an optimal temperature in your room. Taking a shower or a bath before you go to bed can help you kind of decrease your body core temperature, things like that. And, kind of overall making sure that you take enough time to wind down before you go to bed can also be very helpful, because sleep is not one of the things where you can turn off or on a switch and just go to sleep right away.
I hear that your work includes developing psychological treatment for sleep disorders. Can you elaborate on the work that you've been doing, that you're exploring, particularly in the context of insomnia?
Sure. So one of the treatments that I study, which is a very widely known non-pharmacological treatment for insomnia, is called cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. It's also known as CBTI, and it's actually recognized as the first line of treatment before sleep medication by many reputable organizations worldwide. And when people develop insomnia, there's a change in behaviors and thoughts that often interfere with sleeping well. So, for example, when someone experiences stress in their lives, they can develop short-term insomnia, and they may be tempted to stay in bed longer or go to bed earlier, take naps during the day, drink more coffee. And it may seem like an intuitive reaction to battle your short-term insomnia, but many times people don't know that these behaviors are actually counterproductive to getting good sleep. So one of the things we do in CBTI is kind of helping you gain awareness and changing some of these interfering behaviors or thoughts in the context of psychotherapy. So you will talk to some mental health professional, like someone like myself.
Okay.
And it also helps to help you sleep because it kind of addresses some of the ongoing stress going on in your life.
What about the development of digital apps for sleep improvement? I mean, have you researched that as well, Professor? And if so, maybe you can tell us about some of these tools and how they may help us in our sleep patterns.
Sure. So, CBTI is often expensive and not a viable option for people. So there are some digital apps that you can receive CBTI in. And I know that there are also different types of wearables, like smartwatches that you could use where you can measure your own sleep and kind of see if there's something wrong, and that might actually help you give you an idea of how your sleep is. I think it's really important for you to kind of gain an understanding of your sleep and also know when to go seek professional help. And with the incorporation of technology, I really do hope that we live in a world where smart homes are the norm and your mattress tells you how you slept last night, when to see a doctor, your air conditioner syncs to your optimal temperature at night for these really hot nights, and your coffee machine brews automatically in the morning as soon as you get up. So hopefully we'll live in a world like that soon.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for coming on air with us and sharing your expertise and knowledge with our listeners. We do appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Once again, this was our special interview with Dr. Alisa, and we talked about magnesium. And as with any type of supplement, though, as you pointed out, it may not be the first line of defense, So check with your personal medical health provider before you start any type of regimen, whether it be natural resource, like we think it's natural magnesium. But, anytime you take a supplement, it would be wise to check with your doctor first. This was your special interview, and we're going to take a short song break. So here it is. This is Friday Night by G.O.D.
Yo, yo, yo. It's Friday night again. Let's kick it.
Right, alright. It's Friday night. Come, 손예가 미치는 이 밤. Tonight's the night on Friday night. Yeah.
금요일 밤, 오늘 밤, 오늘은 먹고 못한 밤 기분이 쌈한 밤 아침부터 왠지 좋은 예감 Yeah it's okay 자 기분 좋아 Yeah feel alright 자 어디든가 우리 준이 형 태우 호영대니 다 모두 나갈 준비됐니
어두워진 거리를 미끄러져 나가는 우리들 G.O.D 다섯 남자는 주머니 꽉 차 시계는 안봐 멋진 자동차 거리로 나가
지나가는 여인들 Yeah 마주치는 시선들 You want me? I want you to then tell me And I'll come to you
맘 부풀어 오르는 이 밤 Right, alright It's Friday night 밤 예감 좋은 예감이 드는 이 밤 Tonight's the night on Friday night 뒤에 도착한 클럽 앞에 들어가려고 기다리는 사람들의 줄이 늘어서고 서로 의식하고 저마다 자기들의 무게를 잡고
마음의 준비 시작한다 이제 곧 있으면 시작한다 오늘의 승자 누굴까 또 어떤 커플이 탄생할까
선수 입장
들어간다 자 들어간다 G.O.D가 나가신다 모두 비켜나라 자 울려 퍼지는 음악 소리 자 돌아가는 조명들이 금요일 밤이 온 걸 알리네 자 어서 이 밤을 즐기세
좋아 기분 좋아 그대와 나 오늘 멈추지 마 음악 멋진 음악 yeah 흘러나와 and it'll feel alright
Pump it up everybody say tonight's the night tonight's the night Hey ho tonight's the night tonight's the night Pump it up everybody say tonight's the night tonight's the night Ho tonight's the night tonight's the night
이제는 this time come on stage 어디지
저기서 우리 부르지 우리들을 향해서 손짓하지 자 우리들의 무대다 모두 비켜라 남자들은 비키고 여자들은 남아라 그리고 보아라 You want me? Baby you can have me
맘 부풀어 오르는 이 밤 Right, alright It's Friday night 감 예감 좋은 예감이 드는 이 밤 Tonight's the night on Friday night Yeah 맘 부풀어 오르는 이 밤 Right, alright It's Friday night 감 예감
Get your local up-to-date news from Korea and abroad right here on Morning Wave in Busan with Catherine. Stay tuned.
It is time for our Friday segment called Fun Facts and Trivia. We have Joffrey in the studio. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me, Catherine. I'm thrilled to be here.
Let's have more energy.
Yes.
Professor Joffrey.
Yeah. Good morning, Busan.
There
Good
you go,
morning,
there you
everyone.
go. So,
yeah.
hey, just in case some of our listeners, I'm sure most of them, they do remember you, but for we have some, new listeners all the time. Can you introduce yourself?
Once again, I'm Joffrey. I'm from the Philippines, and I teach at a university in Busan.
Yes, indeed. So we're happy that you're back with us. So this is kind of like our new segment. It's a Friday. I think it's perfect. Fun facts and trivia. So we're going to dive into today some facts about like countries. And this is right. It goes hand in hand with our text topic today. By the way, our text topic, let me ask you this, Joffrey. It's a which would you rather. There's no right or wrong answer. Don't worry. You look nervous. Okay. Right. So which would you rather? 1, choose any city in the world. Money and time is not an option. And stay there for 1 month versus 2, you get to travel. Money's not an option. But you have to, every 3 days, you're going to a new city.
I'd rather choose the second one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is there a reason why?
I think it's my nature to just hop from one place to another. And I used to do that. I've been doing that since I was college. When I was in my 20s, I traveled around Southeast Asia. And I think I did for 3 or 4 days, every country in Southeast Asia. And I also did that in Europe. Like a week, every week or every 3 to 5 days, I move from one city to another. So I think I've done that, and it's fun.
Yeah. We already have a message for you. 이 잘생긴 분은 누구신가요? His name is Joffrey. So, just in case you're wondering who he is. Okay, so we're going to dive into
Good morning to her or to him?
Him.
All right. Okay.
He's so disappointed. He's like, oh, it's a him. Yes. But let's get into our first, I guess, fact. What's it about?
Well, certainly, yes. We just concluded the Summer Olympics in Paris, the 2024 Summer Olympics. And the most iconic landmark or the most exposed in our television is the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
Did you know that the Eiffel Tower expands in summer about half a foot or 6 inches or 15 centimeters? And this is because the iron heats up and the tower can expand due to the thermal expansion.
Okay, so I was trying to do that.
Yeah.
So 15 centimeters, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's half a foot.
Half a foot is here.
Yeah.
This is a foot.
There's a foot,
this
half
is
a foot.
So this is
6
15
inches.
centimeters.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
And still in Europe.
Yes.
Also very interesting is that I found out that in Switzerland, they have a law about owning a guinea pig.
Guinea pig? What about guinea pigs
yeah.
in Switzerland?
In Switzerland, Switzerland prohibits the ownership of just one guinea pig.
Oh, really?
And you know the reason behind that? It's because they consider a guinea pig as a social creature.
Okay.
And you know, when you say social creature, it needs someone to spend time together. So one guinea pig would get lonely. So having just one is considered animal abuse in Switzerland.
Animal abuse? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. So if you're going to get a guinea pig, you got to get 2.
You have to get at least 2. Yeah, so
외로울까봐 lonely, poor little guinea pig. Oh.
well, they are lucky because you know the law protects them.
I see.
Yeah, unlike
Okay.
for people, there are many people in Korea who lives alone. There is, according to the statistics.
Yes.
And there's no law for that. But in Switzerland, there's a law for guinea pig to not to be alone. Yeah. And speaking of Guinea, there are 4 countries with Guinea in their country's name. Namely, we have Guinea-Bissau.
Oh, let's slow down. Okay, so
Yeah.
there are 4 countries with Guinea in the name.
In the name.
Okay, so for the first one you said is
We have Guinea-Bissau.
and then the next one is just
Guinea.
Guinea.
Yeah, and then we have the Equatorial Guinea.
Right, and then
And
Papua
New Guinea. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. There are 4 countries with Guinea. Okay.
Guinea, and then others. We also have land in their countries' names. We also have Stan, S-T-A-N in there. Yeah, but that's for another one.
Okay.
Yeah, all
We'll
right.
save that for a rainy day.
Right. And more on countries' names.
Yes.
Under the official United Nations name, there is no country that starts with a letter X or W. Can you name a country with a letter X? Starts with a letter X?
No. And I was thinking
Or-
for a W?
W. Well, we have Wales, but it's not considered as a one country. But under the official name, United Nations.
Right,
Yeah.
United Nations. Ah.
Yeah. And you know the country that has the longest name?
Is?
It's the United Kingdom of Great Britain and the Northern Ireland.
Oh, because that's the official name?
That's the official name. Yeah. And we have several countries with 4 letters as well.
4 letters.
Yes.
Such as?
Peru, Chad.
Chad.
Yeah. There are 11 countries.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Europe. Let's move to Asia.
Asia.
Let's move to
Where
Asia.
we are. Yes.
Here in Korea.
Yes.
The most populated cities are in Asia, and Seoul is the 4th most populated city in the world, considering that the country is very small.
Yes.
Yes, very small.
It is.
And this is after Tokyo, Jakarta, and Delhi.
Oh, so those are the top 3. Tokyo, Jakarta, Delhi, and then
Seoul.
Ah.
But look at the other countries.
Yes.
Japan has a bigger land area. Jakarta is very big, and Delhi is also a big country. But
Right.
Korea is a very small country with such most populated city.
Densely populated.
Densely
in Seoul.
populated, yeah.
Yes. And Tokyo also. When you think about the population, though, Japan has a much higher population than Korea.
It
so,
is,
yes.
yeah. It may be very populated, but you know what? Korea has the lowest birth and population growth, as you know.
On world average, it's 2.41% growth rate. But Korea has 0.68%. Very, very low. And the highest, on the other hand, we have Bahrain with 4.26%. Right. And do you know the reason why Bahrain has the highest population growth rate is because of the immigrants. Immigrants who go there to work. Yeah, to work.
I see.
But in terms of birth rate,
just pure birth.
Yeah, just birth rate. Niger has the highest at 3.81%.
Oh, we have a question from Drift Monkey, one of our waivers. He says, 조프리님 한국어 잘 하세요?
조금 하세요. 조금 할 수 있어요.
Okay, 조금 하세요.
하세요.
조금 할 수 있어요.
할 수 있어요. Yes. Yeah.
How long have you lived here?
I'm embarrassed to say. 저는
언제 오셨어요?
처음 왔을 때
네.
처음 2002년입니다.
2002년도에 오셨어요?
네, 23년 됐습니다.
저보다 오래 살았네요.
I've been living here for like more than 23 years.
You've been here longer than I have.
You know what? The thing about that is that when I first came here, my Korean was fine. It was really progressing that well.
Really?
Yeah, at that time. Then when I got a job where I only use English in the university, also in my university as a student, the staff and all my classmates speak English. And then when I work in the university, all the staff, also the students and other professors speak English that I haven't really practiced. But one thing I realize is that if you really want to learn Korean, you have to have a special someone or you have a buddy to practice your Korean.
We all have heard of that, right?
Yeah.
You need to have a significant other that speaks that language.
Friend or a close friend or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Definitely. You're special someone.
Yes, that one.
Okay. So your Korean kind of has regressed, you're saying?
Yes.
A little bit?
I think I can say like that.
Oh, so you speak Korean, English, and then is it Tagalog or is it a different...
In the Philippines, we have several languages.
Okay.
Yeah, we have more than 100. So my mother speaks one language, my father speaks another language. And
How do they communicate? Or they
we
don't?
use the lingua franca, which is the Filipino.
Oh, okay.
So they come from different cities, and we have the lingua franca.
Yes.
On top of the lingua, so I already have three: my mother's language, my father's language, and then the lingua franca, which is Filipino, and then the English language. And there's another regional language that we speak. Everyone in our region speaks. So that's another one. So
how do you keep it all separated in your head? Oh my gosh.
I think it's very natural, growing up in that region.
Yes.
And of course, because one of the requirements when I applied for a scholarship in Germany was German, I tried to learn the German language as well, and Japanese a little bit, but I forgot. Really?
Okay. I was going to test you, but
I forgot.
You forgot. Okay. So let's move on. And we're going to have a bit of a trivia. We're going to throw out some stuff and then ask our waivers to try to guess the answer. So let's start with the population. So back in 1804, Joffrey, the population stood at what number?
1 billion.
And then?
123 years later, it jumped up to 2 billion.
That was in 1927, right? 2 billion.
1927.
And then this is the trivia. For you waivers out there, you have to guess. What is the current population of Earth right now? The total population.
Total population.
So you know what? We're only going to give you 3 seconds. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Anybody? Oh, you guys are so slow. Yes. Well, as they say, well, I can't say that on air, but yeah, you're too slow. So we're going to give you the answer. What is it, Joffrey?
Now it's 8 billion.
8 billion.
8 billion. Used to be 7.1, 7.5, but we have a population burst. So
right now it's 8 billion. And the projection I hear for, how about when we get to 2054, how big will the population be?
It's going to be 10 billion. But if you really try to compare it, from the 1804 to 1927, it's really, for that's a long period of time, we only increased 1 billion. But with this for a very short period of time, 8 billion. I think we have to look at how the population is increasing.
Yes.
But many countries, matured countries such as Germany, Japan, Korea, China, they are aging population.
Yes.
So-
Yes. How about let's do the one regarding Russia.
Russia.
Yeah, I want to do the one about Russia.
Russia
So why
is
don't
a
you give-
very big country.
It is vast. I mean,
It
a
is.
big country, right? So what's the question we're going to pose?
Oh, okay. A question. This country spans across a remarkable time zone.
Mm-hmm.
And, in Korea, we only have one time zone.
Yes.
Yeah. In the United States, I think they have 6. I'm not sure about that. But
I forgot. Leslie, help
Yeah.
me out. It's been so long. Is
but
it 4?
Russia,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
it is wide.
Yes.
Yeah. The question is, how many time zones?
In Russia.
Russia.
That's a good trivia.
Yeah, making it the country with the most time zones in the world. And it is truly astounding to think about experiencing different times within the same vast country.
Yeah, but I almost give the answer away.
So if I'm in Vladivostok and you are
Yes.
in Moscow, hey,
What's up?
What's up? I just got up and the other guy is,
Yes.
I'm going to bed.
So
Right.
different time zones.
Different
across-
time zones. So the
'cause it's a
question
big
is,
country. Yes.
how many time zones does Russia have?
So don't use, any search engine. So what is the answer? 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1.
Yes. So what do you say?
We have 11 time zones.
11.
11
That's a lot.
hours. 11 hours difference. So from the one end to the other end,
Yes.
11 hours difference.
Yes. That's a good one. How about the next one? The tallest tree trivia.
Oh.
Yes, let's get to that.
The tallest tree with 116 meters high.
116.
116.
The tallest tree.
Yeah. In comparison, a pyramid has 138 meters. Just imagine, pyramid has 138.
Yes.
And this tree has 116 meters.
Right.
So can we reveal now?
What is it? Because I don't think people, it's a tough one. This is kind of a tough one. So what's it going to be?
It's called Hyperion.
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 So that's the tallest tree.
Tallest tree. And speaking of tallest
Yes.
and widest, the tallest building.
This one I think people might know.
I think they know.
Yes.
It's built by a Korean construction company.
Yes. In part, yes.
Yeah, part.
Yes.
We have the Burj Khalifa. Yeah, in Dubai. But in terms of floor area, have you thought about it? With 929,000 square meters, it's double the size of Vatican City.
Oh my gosh, which is like its own entity, by the way.
Yes.
They call it Vatican City, but it's like its own constituency.
Almost double the Vatican City. In terms of land area,
The largest building, not the
largest-
tallest, area-wise.
not the tallest, but the widest.
Wide, the biggest. What is it?
The floor space.
Of what?
Is the Tesla factory.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's
It's
the biggest building in the
yes.
world. Wow.
The largest building is a Tesla factory in the United States. Yeah.
Well, you have given us a lot to think about, a lot of things to look forward to next week as well. So we will continue this segment next week. Thank you so much for coming in, Joffrey. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
All right, everybody. This was Fun Facts and Trivia with Joffrey. It's time to wrap things up for today, for the entire week, actually. Thank you for tuning in. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. We're going to end it with this one. I Swear. This is by All for One. This is an oldie but goodie, so enjoy this one and join me on Monday. Bye, everybody.
I swear by the moon and the stars in the skies, and I swear like a shadow that's by your side. I see the questions in your eyes. I know what's weighing on your mind. You can be sure I know my part, 'cause I stand beside you through the years. You'll only cry those your dreams with these two hands. We'll hang some memories on